Welcome back, Good Life Riders. We are here today at Loess Hill Harley Davidson to take in the River City Motorcycle Challenge sponsored by the Blue Knights Motorcycle Association. So we're going to bring you some of that today and show you a little bit of the competition and talk to you a little bit about it. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. So I went to the River City Motorcycle Challenge on 2 of its 3 days. Started out Friday, we had a pretty foggy day. I went by myself, and then on Saturday I went with my son Elijah. But as you can see here, when we started out on Friday, it was a pretty foggy day to start with. And it was that way probably about halfway there, and then eventually it cleared up into some pretty beautiful skies, partly cloudy skies on Friday. And then Saturday, it was an overcast day, which was really nice for the competition and for everyone that is out competing in an area where there's no shade. Okay, so during most of this, I'm going to have to cut the audio from the actual video because of all the music that was playing in the background and the whole that goes with being on YouTube. But what I wanted to do is tell you a little bit about the whole competition. There was a slow ride part, and as you can see here, this is one of the expert motor officers who has been a motor officer for 12 years. And as you can see, he has great control. But the competition itself is made up of basically 4 different parts. There are 2 different courses that they run. There's the slow ride, and then there is a challenge. And they put all their scores together, their times that it takes for them running. So with the slow ride, it's the longer you want. In the other parts of the competition, it's the shorter time that you want. And everybody hasn't seen these courses before they come. So initially on Thursday night, Thursday day, they get some opportunity to do some fun things like this here eliminator, where they go head to head against other racers, weave through the course, go around the corners or the circles, and then weave through these other areas and around the circles and back, and they race each other through this. And then Friday, when I first got there, they started with this challenge course, and this is something that they never saw before they started. And they had both the expert riders, which here is a expert rider, a former motor officer, he's still a police officer, and then they also had civilian, advanced, and novice riding. But they never got to see this course before that day. Of course, there's elements in it that everyone who does these types of challenges has seen before. But they had expert riders, and they also had the novice riders. This is the novice rider, and as you can see, she's a female, and she did an excellent job. There were some people that dropped their bikes. This is one of the novice riders who didn't drop their bikes. And she actually, in the end, I don't know if she was first or second, but she was one of the top 2 in the novice section. And the way you get to be a novice in this is if you've never won first through third in these types of competitions, you're allowed to compete as a novice, and you have an easier course that you run through during the competition. And once you have competed and won or got top 3 as a novice, then you have to go on and be a advanced rider and an expert rider. So after the challenge courses, then they set up two different courses. This is the novice, two courses that the novice riders would run through, and we'll show you them going through these courses. And what they do is they run through the course 3 different times, and then they take their 2 best times and put them together. Here are the 2 expert and advanced courses. So this is A and B, and they run through each of these 3 times. They did it once, one course. They split the group up, one side on one and one side on the other. Here we're showing you the best run on the lower of those 2 courses. This is an expert rider. He's been riding as a motor officer since 1999. He's a 30-year police veteran, recently retired and is now on a reserve force. But as you can see, he won the course, and he is spot on all of his moves. And what happens is they've seen a lot of the elements of these courses. They just haven't seen all of them and how they're put together. So as you can see, these riders are going from full lock, full lean left, full lock, full lean right through these different exercises. So for years, these competitions were only for motor officers, and in probably the last 10 to 8 years, they've been opened up to civilians. So anyone who wants to take the time to learn these skills can actually go out and become a motorcycle competitor in skills like the, doing challenges like this, using these skills that motor officers have used for years. You can be a civilian and be able to do these courses as well. So what happens at this competition is on Thursday, everybody comes and they practice. They get time to practice the courses, and then towards later on in the day is when they do those competitions where they go against each other, and then there's also a team competition that they do on that day. And then Friday comes and they do that challenge, and then they go through the course each once, and then Saturday they go through the course again, each course twice. So here is one of the expert civilian riders. She's been doing competition work for 8 years and is, as you can see, she is an extremely skilled rider and did a really great job on the course. But the big thing I want you to take away from this is these are just regular riders, just like you and I, who have made the choice to go through and improve their skills and become better riders. And in speaking with them, they all said these kinds of things help. But the other thing I want you to take away is even these skilled riders sometimes drop their bike because of in talking with Erica, she said there was times that she was having a hard time visualizing the course, so she knew what the elements were, but visualizing the course as a whole, running through it that first day, she was a little challenged. And any of those kinds of things, when you're pushing the motorcycle to the limits that these riders push them, can throw you off a little bit. But you can see she picks the bike back up. She goes back to doing extremely hard, challenging things and runs through the course. So this area here is a maze that they have to go into. And what they do when it comes to the scoring of these is if they bump a cone like that, they get a certain amount of points off. If they knock a cone over or they fall on their bike, they get a certain amount of points take off. Plus, their time continues to count. So I'll show you here, I'll bring up a little display that runs through the points of how the point system, what they get deducted for when they run through the course. And then they take their times and they throw out the worst time and they keep their best ones. So in here, this part here, she didn't go into the course. She got messed up there in seeing it and didn't go through the course. And so then that counted against her. But she went back and practiced, came back the next day, and we see she runs through this course again, and you'll see how much better just in the what is it, 24 hours. And she, of course, she didn't practice that whole time, but in practicing through and running through the courses again, they improved their skills dramatically just over the 3 days that they're at this competition. So in the motor officer world, these competitions are considered part of their training, and they go through and do these different courses at different places, and it becomes part of their training. And then they also do training like this when they're not actually on patrol, but as civilians, these are also training opportunities, you know. And whether you are just starting out riding, you've been riding for years, you know, I've had people say, well, what is the value of doing things like this when I'm out on the road driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour? Well, what happens when something jumps out in front of you or something unexpected happens? The skills that riders learn doing this, and I talked with a lot of these different riders in this competition. Some of the individuals were older motorcyclists who have been riding for, you know, since they were, you know, they might be in their 60s and maybe even their 70s, and they say, no, I don't know why I didn't do this a long time ago and improve my skills so I can ride better. And that doing this has helped them improve their confidence and also give them more skills and more confidence in being able to handle situations when they're out on the road that maybe they didn't expect or know how to handle before that. Here is a novice rider. You can see the novice course. They maybe by a couple of degrees don't have to turn quite as sharp as what you do in the advanced and the expert level riding. Most of the bikes you'll see in these competitions are Harley Davidson police bikes. Here is a street glide, and this is another novice rider. And as you can see, you know, they're going, he's going full lock and scraping the boards and going through. This was, I believe, his first time doing a competition like this. And he said he was amazed at how much just doing this helped him gain confidence in his riding ability and improved his skills. So if you would like to learn more about this River City Motorcycle Challenge, you can go to their Facebook page. I'll put the description or the link down in the description below, so you can go and learn more about it. You can see some of the other videos of the competitions that were done on Thursday and some of the other videos. There's some videos of the courses that you can see from the air. I know some people have said, how can they tell where to go? Well, it's pretty easy to tell when you're actually on the course and not standing on the side like I am. Here is one of the other bikes that was at the competition. This is a BMW there was, I think, 3 of this style of bike. They weren't all the exact same bike, but there was 2 civilians using this bike, and there was one, I believe, one motor officer that was using this type of bike. So it's not just Harley Davidsons that are in the competition. And it's not just all experts. There's some advanced riders. And, you know, not every run is perfect, but these guys continue to work hard and continue to advance their skills. And I'm thoroughly impressed with even the bad runs. I mean, how skilled these riders are and how hard they push these bikes. It's impressive to see. Impressive to watch, and it really makes me as a rider want to improve my skills and to become a better rider out on the road myself. So you may be asking yourself, how do I go about to improve my skills? So I would say initially go to an advanced rider's course, whether it be the Motorcycle Safety Foundation or a Ride Like a Pro course, or there's others that are out there. Go to that. You can also go and get the videos and the book that Jerry Palladino puts out, and you can go to conepatterns.com. I'll put those descriptions down below too, where you can get some other cone patterns that you can go out and practice with and go out and ride. You know, some of the riders here that I talked with, they said they put in about an hour to an hour and a half once a week, every week, to improve their skills and get better. And some of the guys that did that, they're extremely impressive riders and extremely skilled riders. But practice, it's a diminishing skill. Something if you don't use it over, you know, and I find out when I'm not doing things like cone weaves and doing figure eights and things like that, that my abilities to even do a U-turn get a little worse. And so I'll show you here are some other simple things you can do. These are things that all of the riders are doing during the time periods when they weren't actually running the course, is they would just go out and do figure eights and practice turning, getting themselves warmed up and work out the ability to want to lean. You know, they would do circles, they would do figure eights, and those are the things you do to improve your skills and become a better rider. So we hope you enjoy the video, and know that I feel it's imperative, and I hope you feel it's imperative, that you do something to improve your skill as a rider. That's the biggest reason why I brought this is, you know, it's tough to not want to drop your bike. Understand that. But for those who have baggers and have bars, I am going to share in one of our Friday 5-Minute Fridays coming up here, something you can use on the cheap to be able to add to your crash bars so that you don't even mark those up. And that should help you know, and I'll show you actually how they work.
Turn right onto County Road L35
in the coming weeks. And then when that comes out, I will reference it in the
turn right onto County Road L35
in the description of this video. It'll come afterward, so keep an eye out for that.
Continue for 4 miles.
And we'll continue our ride home. But until next time, keep the sunny side up, keep the rubber side down.
and have an utterly awesome day. Peace.